When we call your case, you can come down to the podium, at which time the city will have an opportunity to present their side of the case and present the violations or the alleged violations related to the property. You will then have an opportunity yourself to cross-examine or ask any questions that you have of any witness that the city has. And then from there, it'll be your opportunity to move forward and present your side of the case as to why you believe you are not in violation. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Zott was cited for off-site signage. He owned a piece of property on a very busy road, DeBary Avenue, and Mr. Zott advertises for his business in Orlando on that property on a truck sign. As you can see from the pictures, it's quite a good-sized sign, and it's on both sides of that truck, I believe. And he was given the notice of violation and notice of hearing at the same time, because this case had originally started with Steve, and I believe Steve started back in, if I'm not correct, it's in May. So I did the notice of violation, notice of hearing at the same time when we got the second complaint, and he signed for it, but he did receive it on the 20th. We're asking 48 hours to remove the sign, or a fine of $250 a day plus the $250 admin fee. Inside the packet, you will also see a letter that he had posted when he had the property listed on Zillow, that if whoever rented or bought the house, he would give them $500 a month to allow the truck to remain on the premises. When I spoke to Mr. Zott on the telephone, one of the times that I spoke to him, he informed me that he got a lot of business from that signage and he didn't want to remove it. And he wasn't willing to. And he asked me what I cited him for, and I read off the two codes, and they're included in the back of the package here. And I told him the two that I cited him for, and he said, well, he said, I think I can get you on the first one, but not the second one. And here we are today.
Hello. Okay, so explain to me, so I'm violating section 5, right?
Yes, because you're by traffic. No.
Okay, let's start with section 5-34-9. I mean, I'm a dentist, not an attorney, so help me out with this.
That's prohibited signs, correct.
Okay, so signs that are attached or painted on vehicles. So tell me what part of part 9 I'm violating.
Your sign is attached onto the vehicle, and it's not used as a business at that location.
It doesn't. That's part 9 doesn't say anything about that location.
Okay, keep going down.
It doesn't. No, let's deal with one thing at a time.
Okay, it's attached to a vehicle.
Okay, it's attached to a vehicle. Okay, so it's attached to a vehicle. Mm-hmm. And okay, so signs attached to or painted on vehicles which are not regularly used as part of the advertised business, and it has to be both of those, right?
Wait, keep going.
And are obviously parked or located in such a way as to
advertise.
Perfect. I have a permitted driveway there. I'm parked in a driveway. I just drove around. I have probably 30 pictures, which actually I can show you a picture over here when you in your parking lot. What's that truck over there with the big sign on it? Can I show it to you?
Sure.
People that are doing it.
I'm sorry?
If your defense is there's 30 other people that are doing it.
Okay.
You will fail.
Understood.
You're wasting your time.
I understand. Totally understand.
A complaint can be made on all 30 people because I'll give you an example.
I understand. We can skip that.
What typically happens is somebody comes in about a boat that's parked in the front yard.
100% understand.
And then for the next 6 months, I have 25 boat cases because everybody's pointing out.
I just learned that you're not selectively harassing me. That you're basically it's by complaints, right? Okay. Right. So I can just basically turn in all those pictures and find it. I know. I understand. Okay. So all right. So we'll move on. So basically what you're telling me is that I cannot park in my driveway. That's what you're telling me. It's in the driveway. The driveway is diagonally, if you look at the pictures, the driveway is diagonally, which if you park a commercial vehicle in the driveway, I mean, I cannot have an air conditioning guy park in my driveway and fix my AC. I cannot have a plumber come. I cannot have the septic tank company park in my driveway because they're going to have to come sit here in court.
Would they be here? Would they be at the property more than 3 days?
Does it say 3 days somewhere?
Yes, it does.
Where does it say that?
In the code. And if you
what section?
Keep reading, same code. But this is what I wanted to.
Well, what
tell
section?
you.
Because I'm not violating, I wasn't notified of this, of the 3 days.
Off-site signs which advertise businesses, establishments, activities, goods, products, facilities or services or other messages not made, produced, or sold or present on the premises or site where the sign is installed or maintained.
But you just said something about they can't park for 3 days.
Okay, wait. You're correct. It's not, the 3 days is not on that code. But what I'm trying to tell you is, when you have a vehicle in your driveway with signage on it, if we get a complaint, we go out there, and if it's there for more than 3 days, then we cite it underneath another code. But
what code
was
is that?
cited. I'd have to look in the code book, but what I'm trying to explain to you is, you were cited because you don't live at that residence, the business is not at that residence.
Okay, because it's
and now you sold that residence.
because you're saying it's a sign that's erected.
Correct.
Okay, understood. Okay, so the first one, you're basically, I still don't know how I lost the first one. I'm not allowed to park in my driveway. Can you just, I'm missing something there.
If it was your house and that's where you lived, and that was a truck that you use daily, but that's not the case here.
So a vehicular,
Came into our office and explained to us that vehicle doesn't even run.
a vehicular
That's
sign.
what they said.
Well, I don't care what everybody says.
Right.
Prove it. Okay, so it's not. That's hearsay. They're not
like
here.
I said, they're new owners. They
Yeah.
came in to apply for permits, and we informed them that it didn't have
That's
to
hearsay.
change
That's like Judge Judy would say.
operating
I don't want to hear what somebody else is thinking.
Right.
So right.
But
So it really doesn't matter.
It's signage.
It's so you're saying it's an erected sign. Okay. All right. So it's an erected sign. That's why. And then off-site signs. Okay.
It's not at that location.
Okay. All right. Understood. What's the definition of a vehicular sign? I looked it up online. It's attached to or painted onto a motor vehicle. Am I wrong by saying that?
No, I agree.
Okay, so if I look at section 5-33 in exempt signs, the following signs are exempt from the permitting process with certain conditions. Number 7 says vehicular
I don't
signs.
have a 33 in our city codes. I don't have a 33.
What is this?
It goes up to 24.
What is this? Vehicular signs are exempt.
I don't know what you're looking at.
Where's the, I'd have to pull it up on the website. I don't have my computer. Can I show you this here, what I pulled up?
Sure, but that's not what we cited you for.
Right, but
You were cited for the two things that we cited you for,
But-
because there's no business operating out of that address.
understood. But at the same time, it's a vehicular sign, which according to this, vehicular signs are exempt. I didn't erect any sign on the property. There's no signs erected on that property. And it says here, the following signs are exempt from the permitting process with certain conditions. Well, the certain conditions are basically, you can have a real estate sign, but it can't be more than 2 square feet. You can have whatever it is, but it can't be more. This says vehicular signs. And there is no condition. So basically what you're telling me is that, because you still didn't show me where it says that they can't park for more than 3 days. I can't have an air conditioner guy come. I guess you're right. You're going to have a whole bunch of. I took a picture of the guy across the street over here that you guys are staring at all the time with that sign there. So basically, he's not allowed over there. I don't see where there's no code that says you can't have a commercial vehicle on your property. Not to mention, I didn't erect any sign. It's a vehicular sign, which is exempt. It says it right here. What's the definition of attached to or painted on? That means you're basically, if I have a car in my driveway with the word Jeep on it, they can't be parked in the driveway because it says Jeep. I got a Dodge Ram truck. It says Ram 3500. That's advertisement. It's attached to a vehicle. You're telling me I can't park my truck there because it says Dodge Ram.
No, what's said is that if there is a sign that is attached to
Jeep.
or painted on vehicles, which are advertising businesses,
Jeep.
Jeep.
That's a sign. So I can go down a driveway here. I see Chevys and Jeeps all down the block here. That's a sign attached to a vehicle.
You're right.
I'm going to have fun with this.
You're right.
You guys are going to make money. You guys are going to make a fortune. Can I get a cut?
Anything else you want to present?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
In
this-
case CE 4057, I find the property to be in non-compliance, the property owner will have 48 hours to bring the property into compliance. Otherwise, will face a fine of $250 a day plus the $250 admin fee. Thanks, sir.
Okay, is there an appeals process with attorneys with this or no?
Circuit court.
What's that?
Circuit court.
Okay.
When I draft my order, they
Okay.
can appeal to circuit court.
But I mean, I guess I still don't understand. You didn't explain why, because it says that vehicular signs are exempt.
Yes,
Like,
sir. The code section that you were cited on is the one that we talked about, and it's section 9. Section 9 is your violation.
I was told section 5-34. Like that's what it's.
And I'm holding 5-34 right now. Section 9 is the section that you heard them say.
So vehicular signs that are exempt means nothing. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good morning, Greg Greenfield Partlow. This is Maggie speaking.
James Partlow, please.
May I ask who's calling?
This is Paul Zott.
Okay, and what is it in reference to, Mr. Zott?
It's in reference to the DeBary case. You're on a recorded line anyway. I got to tell you this. I guess I'm calling from my office. It's regarding the case that I had at City Hall in DeBary.
Okay, Mr. Partlow is currently in with a client.
Okay.
And you said it's in regards to a case?
Exactly, that I did. Because he's the whatever you want to call it, judge in the DeBary City Hall.
Okay, let me put you on hold.
So I figured before I complained to the Bar Association, he might want to talk to
sir,
me. Okay.
Let me put you on hold for 1 moment.
Thank
please.
you. Thank you.
Thank you for holding. We'll be with you momentarily.
Mr. Zott, Mr. Partlow is in a mediation until this
Okay.
afternoon. If
Okay.
you'll give me a number for you to be reached at, I will relay the message to him.
Okay, before 4 o'clock at 407-250-4832.
I will let him know that you called.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling our dental office. Your call is being recorded for training purposes. Please hold.
This is Paul.
Hey, Paul, it's Patty with the City of DeBary.
Hey, Patty, what's up? I'm calling because I still want to find out. I sent you an email because I'm mad about this whole thing, obviously. Section 533. Did you find that code?
Yes, I did.
Can you explain that to me? What it means?
Basically, that code was put into effect for vehicles like if you were driving them every day and you were coming home with a vehicle that said Tom's Plumbing. And
Nope.
if you were driving it like a commercial vehicle, we allowed them to park in the city.
Okay, explain
But again, that is not the code that I cited you for.
Right, but Section 5 clarifies, so the rest of it is not misunderstood. So 533.
Unfortunately, it is misunderstood, and they're working on redoing the codes because they want to put a better language in there so people understand it better like you. And they're working on redoing the codes because they want to put a better language in there so people understand it better like you. So that's why they're going to change that.
So
but
that's
what I cited you for, you were in violation of. You were found in violation of for the two codes that I cited you for.
Okay, again, 533. You
Again,
said
that's not
that
what
it
I
was
cited you for.
right, but that clarifies the rest.
No,
okay.
it doesn't clarify the rest.
So so explain to me, and you obviously know you're on a recorded line because that's what the recording said, right?
Pardon me?
You know you're on a recorded line when you call me,
yes,
right?
I'm on a recorded line. I understand that.
Okay, good. So explain to me what Section 533 in your code means.
I just did. I just told you what that meant. It means signs that are like commercial vehicles that you drive to and from your house every day for work.
It's 5-33 says exempt signs from the permitting process.
Correct.
Right? And number 7 says what?
I'm not looking at the code right now.
Can you look at it, please, for me?
Would you like to talk to my director?
No, I'd like to.
I think you need to speak to my director at this point, Mr. Zott.
Okay, fine.
Because you're no longer the property owner anyway, and as far as we're concerned, the case is closed. You were in compliance.
Okay.
So if you still have issues with the violation, then you need to speak to my director.
Well, I am, and I'm going to speak to the Bar Association and all of that, too, but I guess let me talk to your director.
Okay, hang on just a second. Okay, Mr. Zott, he's in a DRT meeting right now, so I can put you through to his voicemail, or I can just give him a message with your phone number and have him give you a call when he gets out.
Okay, very good.
Okay?
You can tell him to call me at the same number.
Okay, I will surely do that.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for calling our dental office. Your call is being recorded for training purposes. Please hold.
Hi, this is Paul.
Hey, Paul, this is Matt Berger of City DeBary Growth Management Director. How are you doing?
Oh, how are you? I was waiting for your call yesterday. Okay. Hi, I'm doing great. I just, not great, but apparently you know what's going on, right?
I think so. I'd like to hear from your perspective, though. I put
a whole video together. I'm gonna talk to the Florida Bar Association. I was guilty before I even opened up my mouth. I mean, your code enforcement person is clueless. She doesn't know the codes. You know 5-33?
I've got it up here in front of me.
What does it say?
Are you talking about, you're talking about the exempt signs?
Correct.
And I suspect, let me make sure that I understand what it is that the issue is, right? You had a vehicle parked on a vacant lot?
It's not a vacant lot, it's my driveway.
It's your driveway? Okay.
It's my driveway. It's not a vacant lot.
Okay. I've been told that you don't own the property anymore?
I used to own the property. Does that make a difference what code 5-33 says?
Did you own it when you were advertising? I'm just curious.
It makes no difference. Yes, I owned it, but it's irrelevant. It's 5-33. At the time of violation, I owned it.
It's not irrelevant, not from my perspective.
Okay, so what does 5-33-7 say?
So I think you're arguing that vehicular signs are exempt, right?
Right. I did not erect a sign on that property. And that has to do with erected signs. And it flat out clarifies in 5-33-7 that vehicular signs are exempt from the permitting process. So I don't understand what everybody is so excited about. And
well, help me understand. I haven't seen the property. I haven't seen the vehicle.
Okay, so it's a vehicle with a sign on it, which makes no difference. It doesn't matter what kind of sign. Can you read to me what 5-33 says? What the top of it says?
The following signs are exempt from the permitting process with certain conditions where applicable as noted, and then you're arguing vehicular signs.
Perfect. So vehicular signs, there's no conditions for vehicular signs, right, that I'm aware of?
Well, there's more information that I need here. So you've got a vehicle that is it a wrap or something like that that's advertising your business?
You can call it a wrap. It's a printed banner that's attached to a truck.
Okay, and so this is a truck. What kind of truck is it, out of curiosity?
F-350, which again, none of that makes a difference. It's attached.
It does to me. So,
Okay.
this is not a vacant lot. It's a single-family residential home.
Exactly. And what is the definition of a vehicular sign?
Well, hold on. Let me ask my questions first.
Okay, perfect.
So you've got you've got this car with a wrap parked at a single-family home, and you lived at this home at the time.
Yes.
At the time of the violation, you lived at the home.
Yes.
Okay. You do not live there anymore?
No.
Okay. So from what I understand, you're no longer in violation. You're in compliance with the code.
Well, I took the sign off of the
vehicle.
No, the vehicle is still there. It's the vehicle is not the issue. The issue is the sign that I have on it. So it's like me pulling off a Chevy sign off of a truck. I mean, it's attached to a vehicle.
But are you trying to? Are you trying to argue that you should be able to park your truck advertising your business on someone else's property?
There is no code that says I can't have a plumber come to my house that has a sign on his truck, right? I mean, commercial vehicles are allowed in the neighborhood. I have not found anything that says
Let me ask
commercial
you again. Are you
vehicle.
trying to argue that you want to have your car advertising your business parked on someone else's property? Is that what you're trying to argue?
No, that's not what I'm trying to argue.
What is your argument? Because
my argument is the code, and the code says that vehicular.
What do you want? What do you want?
I don't want to be. I want to follow by the code, and I want everybody to understand the code.
You're not answering my question.
I just said.
What do you want out of this?
I want to know what the definition of a vehicular sign is.
No, you're not answering my question. What outcome do you want from this?
I want everybody to leave me alone and let me park my truck in a neighborhood that doesn't say anything about commercial vehicles and it's parked legally in the driveway.
So you want to park your car on someone else's property, advertising your business.
I mean,
I've asked you that 4 times now.
If he's allowing me to park there and there's no code that says I can't do it, then yes.
No, you're not going to be allowed to do that. You can argue that all day. I'm not going to argue the philosophy. You're not going to park your car advertising your business on someone else's property.
Where does it say a commercial vehicle cannot be parked in somebody's driveway?
It says that in section 5-34, and this has been explained to you multiple times.
Okay, explain it to me. Explain it to me.
Off-site signs which advertise businesses, establishment, activities, goods, products, facilities, or services, or other messages not made, produced, or sold, or presented on the premises or site where the sign is installed and maintained.
Exactly. If the sign is installed on the property, it's erected on the property. I do not have an erected sign on that property. 5-33 exempts what signs are exempt. And
then 5-34, subsection 9, signs attached or painted on vehicles which are not regularly used as part of the advertised business. So, listen,
okay,
this is our interpretation. I'm not going to argue the philosophy with you anymore, okay? You can record things, you can send it to the bar, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
This is the city staff's interpretation. The special magistrate has made his ruling. I'm not going to debate this philosophy with you anymore. We've spent a lot of time. We've been very generous in trying to explain this to you. If you cannot understand it, I can't help you. If you can present me with new information, I'd be glad to hear it.
I am presenting you with information.
You're not listening. You're not listening. And I've made this very clear.
Let me ask you a question, because you're the director. What education level do you have? Are you an attorney?
I'm not going to get into that with you, okay?
Are you an attorney? I'm asking.
If you want my resume, you're glad to have it. I'm glad to give it to you. I'm not going to get in that debate. Do you have any other information for me to consider?
Yes, I do.
What new information do you have for me to consider, sir?
You're talking about erected signs. And
no, we've already had that discussion. I'm not going to get in that debate with you. What else do you have? What's new do you have?
Okay, that's it. So how do I get a copy of your resume?
Do you have an email address? I'd be glad to email it to you.
Yes. It's PAULSZOTT @Yahoo.
All right. I'll send you this resume, and I will send you, and you'll have my email address. If you have any new information that we haven't considered, I would be glad to discuss that with you. But I cannot have my staff and myself spinning our wheels having the same conversation over and over again.
Okay.
We've been generous with our time and our explanation, and I don't have anything else to offer at this time.
All right, very good. When do I expect that resume in my email?
You'll have it today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.